All right, everybody. We're back, and oh snap, what do we got here?
A little bounce chicken wow. Oh, that's enough of that.
Yeah, come on. Today we're going to talk about what's underneath all that body work. So we took all that off.
So there's a red line missing most of her clothes.
And what we want to do in this video is we want to talk about the direction we're going to go in this series.
Kind of like a table of contents on what we plan to cover, kind of a heads up on what we're going to do.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't really seen what's really underneath this thing and what makes a red line so special. We've already covered how people feel about the red line, but you know what? None of them people ever rode one. So we want to do a technical analysis of what this thing is all about and how it differs from your average snowmobile.
Right. Show the inner workings of the machine, and we're slowly going to tear the machine apart for some maintenance reasons and for educational purposes for all you guys to see. It's kind of a kill two birds with one stone, and we're just going to break it down piece by piece, and you can see what the components are and how it's made, and just really what makes a red line a red line.
Yeah, because I've been riding this thing for 13 years, and it's time to do some things that need to be done.
Maintenance.
Yeah, like maintenance, right?
Everything needs maintenance.
Yeah, everything needs maintenance. And the beauty of this is it was designed to last forever. So it's a matter of just replacing bushings and fluids and things like that.
Right.
Right now, I have just a tiny little bit. Well, it's hard to tell. I got just a tiny little bit of play. Most people would never notice it.
Right.
And I'm just being nitpicky.
Well, it looks like it's the bushings there and the bell are worn, so.
Yeah, way down in here. Let me grab a flashlight, everybody. I want to show you this pitman. Okay, way down in here is a pitman. There it is. Okay, I got it. Way down, see that pitman arm right there?
It looks like the bushings have given up.
Yeah, you know, initially I thought maybe the bolt had wore a hole or wallowed out the hole in the frame, but it's probably just that bushing because this has brass bushings everywhere. So that's the reason we're going to take it apart. Other than that, you could ride it and you would never notice.
We're going to go ahead and change the clutch. Rubber damper in the clutch, being this has got a one-piece transmission. It's like a rubber Lovejoy company coupling, and service the shocks and just little things here and there.
Let's talk about that. What Matt's talk.
That's fine.
What the Redline Rebel is talking about is this coupler right here. This coupler, it's a two-piece coupler. Half of it is mounted to this, what would you call this thing?
It's a transmission.
It's a transmission, I guess. And then the other half is mounted to the motor.
Right.
But there's a piece of rubber inside of there that dampens, or I guess it isolates the two aluminum pieces.
Correct. It's more or less a Lovejoy coupling off a Kawasaki jet ski.
Yep, that's right. And it's probably time to replace that, only because we can. I have some, and why not freshen it up after 13 years?
And then they get to see what it's all about as well. It kind of, again, kills two birds with one stone.
Yeah, that's what sets us apart from the other snowmobiles.
Right, and then we can take the clutch off, clean it up, service it. You can see the transmission. What it does is it fixes the spacing in between, so you never get belt deflection because it never moves. It's always a constant center to center. We can pull the gear case apart, check bearings, service it. Just, again, maintenance.
Yeah, this is what he's talking about. This is a big, humongous aluminum plate.
So
And
the center to center never changes, so you don't get a change in the center to center, hence you don't change the belt deflection. When I say belt deflection, I don't mean the up and down, I mean the belt alignment and
Right.
distance between the clutches.
yeah, this and this, that distance never changes. It never changes. There's no shifting of anything. This is very solid. And this belt, I've been using this belt for 13 years. And I think I could get another 13 out of it if it doesn't dry. They don't burn up. But here's the gear case.
Yep. And then the water pump's there behind the clutch, so
Yep.
it's all separate. It's not on the engine. It's all driven off the crankshaft as well. And it's belt driven on top of that.
Yep, there's a cover. Behind this cover, there's a pulley and a belt. And so this is the water pump, and it's driven off of this shaft here. This is very robust, very long lasting. You never have to replace it. But then the downside is you never get to change the gearing either.
Correct. But
And it's not really a top end machine though, is it?
no.
It's
no.
not geared to do that.
No.
No. It's more of a sprinter, kind of like how a motocross bike
Yep.
is more of a sprinter.
Yep.
Yeah. So
Then above that, you've got your reservoir for your cooling system, and
yeah, that's right there.
then behind that, you have the top fuel tank. And then if you go over to the other side, you'll see that it has a lower fuel tank.
So what happens is when you fill up your snowmobile, the gas will go in here, and then underneath this cover, there's a short piece of hose that connects the upper tank to the lower tank, and that's a big problem. Matt, I want to spend a lot of time talking about this.
We'll do that
And I
when
don't
we
mean
do-
like an hour or anything, but this is a very serious situation.
It's a safety concern.
Yeah, you can't run this the way it came, because the hose that connects the upper tank to the lower tank, it's very large in diameter, and it's very, very stiff.
Correct.
Very stiff. So I knew that when I first got it 13 years ago, and you can't really see much of it here, but what I did was I made a loop, a flex loop. So this comes around, twists around, kind of like a pretzel, so that there is no stress on the spigot at the upper tank or at the lower.
Because they fail.
Yeah, that will crack, gas will leak, bad things happen. This cover does not come stock.
Nope.
I made this because of the fact that the original exhaust cracked.
Correct.
And I didn't want, if it did crack in this area, I didn't want any flames touching or reaching anything that could explode or catch on fire.
Right.
So we'll show more of that
Yeah,
later
we'll
when we
go
take it
into more
apart.
detail. Again, this is like a table of contents of like what's to come.
Yeah.
And then we'll cover the different exhaust systems, and there's 4 different established dyno sheets out there, and they're all different, and what works and doesn't work. And we're trying to, one of the first videos, we showed the F1000 pipe that's currently on the machine. And right now we're just going to do seat of the pants dyno and try to get it to the best feel. When we feel that we can't do any more with the exhaust system, we're going to continue with the carburation. And then once we get the best seat of the pants feel, then we're going to try to get it on a dyno and get it dialed in. And once it's dialed in, then we can play with clutching. But right now, again, there's 4 exhaust systems, 4 different dyno sheets. Nothing's the same, and we don't feel that anything is truly correct. It's gotten better each time, but it's still not all it can be.
Right, and we'll get into that in a later video. But you don't just bolt a pipe up to a red line.
No.
It requires extensive modifications, including the manifold. This is my second manifold that I've built. We'll get into that in a later video. But we're just generalizing right now. just to show you what's coming, you know, we want to talk about things like this electrical system.
Yep.
And
which we can still get today. It's all German made.
yeah, it's all readily available stuff.
Correct.
It's not like as if you buy some Polaris from a certain year and they no longer make the CDI or the brain box, and then you're what, scavenging like salvage yards looking for a replacement?
Yeah, swap meets. We still, don't get us wrong, we still have to have it, the CDI box flashed or programmed, but the ignition system itself can all still be purchased.
Right. And
the engine will come out when we do that coupling, and we'll kind of show you that. Then you kind of get to see the red line naked without the engine in it, so you'll get to see what it's really made of, the structure under hood.
we're gonna talk more about these carburetors, which are really huge.
Yes.
Really huge for
you keep jetting down and down and down.
Yeah, I've done a lot of modifications on these carburetors. We're not going to get into that now. That's going to be a separate video. Also, you know, we did a previous video, and a couple things I didn't mention was this really cool battery connector right here. I don't know if I can get that. There you go. This comes stock on a red line.
Well, you have to have it because there's no pull start. So
yeah.
if your battery's dead, you got to have some way to readily jump it, and you can't get to the battery because it's buried under the airbox.
Yeah, and this is called an Anderson connector, and they do make harnesses so you can plug it into a battery tender like what I have here.
Or jumper cables.
Or jumper cable, but this is just really cool stuff.
And I would not recommend the jumper cables because the charging system in this thing is not heavy enough to run the machine, start the machine all at once. You have problems with stators and voltage regulators, etc.
Yeah, never try to start this off a battery charger.
Correct.
If you're going to jump it, it has to be off of a battery.
Right, and let it run for a while to try to get some juice in the battery. Otherwise, the charging system is just going to run wide open, and it's just not big enough to do that.
We'll talk about this later when we do a video.
In the draw on the system?
Yeah, this is a battery disconnect that I installed a long time ago.
Because it runs off, there's a start-run relay system in the snowmobile for the ignition system, and sometimes the relays stick or fail, and you've got a constant draw.
Yeah, and I don't want to modify the harness or anything. This is really easy to do. Plus, it kind of acts as a theft deterrent.
Yep, safety, yep.
Yeah, because nobody's going to pick this up and steal it, that's for sure.
Well, I might.
Yeah, you're the only one big enough to handle that. This is the lower gas tank. This is the petcock for it. And it's like a motorcycle. So it has a reserve on and an off. It's kind of a neat thing.
And that's your fuel gauges because the back of the tank's all open from the side pod, and that's how you can tell how much fuel you got in the machine. Kind of like the Yamahas do with the little hose sight glasses, or the Polaris do with the snowcross sleds with a clear tank. It's kind of your gas gauge.
Yeah, and I don't think we need to do a full video on this, but I can tell you one thing. Do not put ethanol in here, and always keep fuel in here.
Yes, we found several of the sleds that have never had fuel in them. The tanks have cracked and failed.
And they crack in this area right here.
Right, because they're pinched.
Yep.
And they just, for some reason, I haven't found one that's had fuel in it fail, but I found a handful of them that haven't had fuel in them that have all failed.
Yep, so you always have to keep fuel in it. And
keep it from drying out.
I always try to keep my fuel level above this area. It's down right now because I've been running it a lot, checking out this exhaust system I just put on. But yeah, that's it. This thing is like a full tube chassis, like off of some Baja racer thing. And
we'll talk about exhaust more. We'll talk about suspension more. We'll talk about how they went from the side shocker to the mono shock. We're going to take and we're going to service all the shocks. So you're going to see them all apart. And we're going to literally break the sled down. We're not going to nut and bolt the sled, but we're going to maintenance the sled. And we're going to bring you along for the ride. So again, you can see what a red line's made of.
Yeah, you know, I had a guy reach out to me on the last video, and he asked where the torsion bars were.
Right.
And I said, what are you talking about? Do you mean the sway bar? He said, no.
Yeah, I saw the
There's no-
comment that he was talking to springs that most modern sleds have.
Yeah.
But you got the coilover off as your problem.
I took the springs off the rear. I took the shocks off the front. The front, they need to be recharged, so I'm doing that. But the rubber jounce bumper that goes on this back shock, it had dried out and it cracked in half.
And right, and like I said, we've kind of found something that may be off a Mustang or off our race car. We have bump rubbers in a race car that are extremely similar. So when we get that shock apart, we'll find something that'll fit and take up that area.
That's why you don't see springs on it right now, because I'm in the middle of working on it. But we wanted to get some of these videos out just to show people what we're playing with here. And so we'll show it all put back together.
Oh, yeah. And we'll break it down in the hand controls that Kent's really proud of, and the gauges and the dash, and how many sleds come with a safety tether anymore? None.
I thought this was so darn cool when I saw this at the show.
It is, and then your suits, your First Brigade suits, just like most snowmobile jackets, they've got a spot for that to clip on. So
this is really cool stuff, and I'm like a geek for hardware, and I tell you what, this throttle block, this is so cool. This is all aluminum.
The bar risers,
this is
because the initial sleds had like a dirt bike style handlebar on it, and they went away from that and they went to a nice aluminum bar riser. And
this is so cool how it's got braided stainless steel lines on it going right. It's just so trick.
It keeps coming back to the Ferrari snowmobiles.
Yeah, it is just so trick.
Autometer gauges, billet this, billet that, high end shocks, high travel suspension, isolated engines, trying to get the low center of gravity with the fuel system, exhaust out the back. To me, that's what makes a red line.
Yeah, this is just really incredible how that looks. Look at that. Man, it looks like them sport bikes from back in the day. And then, it says Bassani right on there. That's really cool. We're going to talk more about what's in there and what's going on there. But
all the running boards, everything's all stainless. It's stuff to stand the test of time and resist corrosion.
Don't mind this. I added this. They don't come with snow flaps. We'll talk about that later. God, there's just... I just want to talk and talk and talk, but that's not what we're here for.
There's a ton to cover, but this is kind of a table of contents on things to come. This is what's to come. We're trying to get the audience built up, and again, have you guys come along for the ride.
Yep, so, all right, everybody, thanks for joining us today. We just kind of wanted to show this in this state of undress so you can see what's underneath it. It is not like anything else out there. And we just want to dig deeper and show you more and more what these things are all about to clear up any misconceptions. It's not a do-all sled. We said that before.
No.
And not claiming that it is.
No.
But
it's a niche sled. It was to fill a hole in the market on a high-performance trail sled that would just eat moguls.
Yeah, it's a toy.
Correct.
You don't have to buy a Ferrari to go back and forth to work, but that's not what this is for.
But it's a whole lot of fun when you do.
Yeah.
And we're going to try to make these videos a little more frequent, and hopefully you noticed that we dug into the piggy bank a little bit and got ourselves a microphone, so hopefully you can hear us a little better. And we're going to start inserting some pictures so you can follow along. What we don't have live in person, we have pictures of, so we can insert them so you can see what we're talking about.
We have a lot to show you guys. We have a lot to talk about, and we are even going to come up with a story time series.
Oh boy.
It's going to be called Story Time with the Red Line Rebel.
Oh boy.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
The people I've talked to and the stories I got to tell.
Yep, so hold on. More is to come, and we're working on that right now. So once again, everybody, thanks for checking in today. Please hit the subscribe and the like. Please tell all your friends, because if we can get more subscribers and more traction, the algorithm at YouTube will push this out more and more and more, and it will help with the things that we want to do in the upcoming future. This winter, we have big plans, and we want you all to be there.
Comment and ask questions, because the more involvement there is from you guys, the more traffic there is on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and then I've reached out to several people that have some pretty big snowmobile pages, and they're going to share our content as well, because again, this all needs to be shared with the world.
Yes, it's been 25 years, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not that good at math.
Well, it's been 21 years. Technically, they're 05 sleds, but yes, they came to the market and they kind of made the big splash in like 99, 2000 when they Popular Mechanics, and they were sled of the year. So you're right in that time frame.
Yeah, I keep going back to 99, 2000.
Right, that's where they were Popular
Mechanics. That sled is different than this.
Right, but that was Popular Mechanics sled of the year,
Yeah.
and it just kind of gone from there. So.
Yeah, yeah. The sled that was out in 25 years ago, that was a whole different kind of machine.
Oh yeah, that was a side shocker,
and we have one of those sitting right over here.
And we'll get that out when we get this one apart, and then we can compare them side by side.
Yeah, exactly. So sit back and enjoy what we're going to cover regarding the other machine, because then when we get to this is really going to be cool. There's like a whole nother story to that thing.
And we have the pieces to put that one together. So
Yeah.
you can join us on that build as well.
Yep. So, all right, everybody. Enjoy yourselves. Thanks for checking us out, and we'll talk to you a little bit later.